Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I have learned as I have grown into the person that I am today. And let me just tell you, first of all, I have had such a fantastic morning. I got up really early today. I got up at 9 o'clock. I went to bed very, very early last night. I went to bed, well, early for me. I was in bed, I think by like 10:30, 10:45 last night after going to my home group meeting, and I had an amazing home group meeting last night, and hung out with my best friend Tanya a little bit afterwards. So I had a great night last night, got a good night's sleep, got up today. I've been getting a lot of stuff done. So I thought, why not sit down and film a meditation video? So I have some water with me, and I went through some of the meditation books this morning, and I just kind of skimmed them. The first one was Meditations for Living in Balance, Daily Solutions for People Who Do Too Much. And this meditation is about being of service, which is interesting because that was the topic of my meeting last night. So I thought, well, that would be an interesting meditation to read. So I haven't read it yet, but I'm going to read it here in a second. And the second one is from Nightlight, a book of nighttime meditations by Amy Dean. And I just kind of skimmed this one too. It had said something about a man that wanted to own a Christmas tree farm. And so I was like, oh, well, I would love to own a Christmas tree farm. And I was just talking this morning on my vlog, because I vlogged today instead of last night. I was talking about how I'm kind of like excited, more excited than usual for Christmas this year. More excited for Christmas than Halloween, which is strange for me. So, all right, let's get into these meditations. The first one is the Meditations for Living in Balance. October 13th, being of service. Serving God is doing good to man, but praying is thought an easier service and is therefore more genuinely chosen. Benjamin Franklin. So many of us would like to be of service if we just knew how, and we're daunted by the prospect. Actual service is so personal, it's so hands-on. And, let's admit it, some of us feel shy and inadequate when it comes to doing service directly. We'd rather give money, a good thing and not very personal. We'd rather pray, more sanitized and again not personal. We feel better after both. Still, nothing can substitute for doing something for someone else, personally. There is something about this particular activity that adjusts the vertebrae of our very being. We don't have to do anything big. We can build our service muscles through small tasks, such as helping an elderly person, picking up trash, letting someone who is in a hurry go before us in the checkout line. Regardless of what we do, service is a prayer, and we need all the prayers we can get to balance our lives. Do some kind of service every day, and you will start seeing opportunities for more. Service is kindness in action. And I really like this meditation. I think any reminder to me of being of service to others, or to try to do some kind of service on a daily basis, and I love that the meditation in here says that it doesn't have to be these big acts of service. You don't have to dedicate your life to that, but for those that do, that's wonderful. It's amazing. But you can do smaller things on a daily basis, and I've talked about this on here before, as far as like giving somebody a parking space that they might want or need more than you, I always think about that when I'm like, going through the lines at Costco and whatever, the parking lot, because it's like everybody's fighting for a space. And I'm like, there's no reason why I can't park farther out. I mean, I'm completely capable of walking. I probably need the exercise anyway. So there's no reason why I should fight for a spot that maybe somebody needs more than me. So I try to always like park, way out there and whatever. So anyway, but I like that idea, of even maybe just buying somebody coffee behind you at Starbucks or something like that. Or, and not telling anybody. That's the true act of altruism, is when we do things and we don't tell anybody about the service that we did, And I think, like, there's always, like, if you're a spiritual person, there's always kind of, like, that idea of, like, like, my friend always, she says this, it's like, oh, I did something good. God, did you see that? You saw that, right? Like, checking in with God to make sure that God saw, like, the good act that you did. But it's really not about that, and I don't know, I feel like when I was growing up, the book that I'm reading right now is talking about, like, the main character's mother is taking food over to somebody's house that had a son that had passed. And, you know, he asks her, why do we take food over to people when, like, a death has occurred? Oh, there's Boo Radley. And she said, you know, it's a nice gesture to do because, like, you know, then we can help other people. And she's kind of going through this, explaining this whole thing. But, you know, I grew up in that generation when, you know, like, if somebody passed away, like, my mom or my aunt would, like, make a basket up of, like, a casserole and a loaf of bread, you know, a whole meal for the family. And then took it over and, like, checked in and said, hey, Boo Radley, he's getting busy back there. He's very, very active today. They got their grooms yesterday, and they look absolutely... Boo Radley, do you want to come over here and show your groom? Come here. Come here, sweetie. He's like, no, I want to stay. Can you guys see him? He's scratching back there. Yeah. So, he's trying to make his bed in the chair. Anyway, but back in the day, you know, people would always take meals over and do things like that. I don't think that we do so much of that today. You know, and I think, like, I always think to myself, it needs to start with me. Like, you know, any of these ideas that I have, they need to start with me. Like, what am I doing today? Like, that should be the question, you know? Not talking about it on a universal level, not talking about it, like, from a societal level that we're not doing this anymore, but, like, where does it start for me? Where have I been of a person of service today? Have I done something to help my neighbors? Have I even been friendly to my neighbors today? You know, have I done something for people out there that I don't even know, you know? Or am I buying somebody's coffee in the car behind me and I'm, like, looking to see, like, oh, did they notice it? Are they looking at me? You know what I mean? Or are we just doing it to be kind people? And I think that's the real trick, you know, in starting to do things on a daily basis, not because you want to be perceived as kind, not because you want to be perceived as compassionate, but just to put goodwill out there in the world. And I just talked about this in a meditation the other day, you know, that the greatest way of getting out of ourselves is by helping another human being. And I've learned that. You are all over the place, aren't you, buddy? He says, well, now that I got my fall and winter haircut, he said, I can go wherever I want. I'm an adventurer. But I think that's the thing, you know, is that I have always been taught in recovery that the number one way to get out of yourself is by helping another person, you know? And so if you're inside your head and you're going through a tough time, try to help somebody else. The easiest way to find gratitude in your life is to help somebody else that has it worse than you do in that day. You know, maybe somebody else out there is sick. Maybe they need you. You know, maybe it's just a kind gesture, you know, will get you out of yourself and it'll make you feel better as well. And that's kind of the payoff, you know, I think, is keeping yourself busy, helping somebody else, and feeling better about ourselves, right? And at the same time, we're helping somebody. So that's a great meditation. Right, Boo Radley? He said, right. Look at how short his haircut is. We'll say, I look like a little miniature greyhound now, don't I? Yeah. Want to give me a kiss? He said, okay. All right, let's read the next one from Nightlight by Amy Dean. I love this meditation book. Tucker is sitting right over here in his bed. Okay, October 13th. I could almost dislike the person who refuses to plant walnut trees because they do not bear fruit till the second generation. Sir Walter Scott. There once was a man who wanted to give up his high salary job to start a Christmas tree farm. He told his friends about his dream. Boo Radley is needing a lot of pets right now. He's like, I need a lot of attention today, Dad. The first thing they asked him is how much money would he make? A lot, he said, once it gets started. How long will that take? They wondered. Years, was his reply. First, I have to purchase the land, then prepare the soil, then plant the seedlings, then tend them with care until they mature. By the time I'm 45, he concluded, I'll have my first Christmas trees to sell. None of his friends could understand why he would want to take a risk on such a long-term venture, but deep down inside, he knew this was his dream, and this would make him happy. It didn't matter how long it took for him to get what he wanted. What was important was that he was working on his dream. Do I have any Yet again, here is another one of these meditations coming up, making me wonder, what is the universe trying to tell me? Do I have any long-range dreams I believe will never happen because they'll take too long? Yes. Tonight, I can visualize my dream and take the first step towards making it happen. And I think, if anything, in the last couple meditations that we have read like this, or I've read like this, you know, and talked about on here, the message is simple. That if there is something in your life that you are wanting, if there is a dream that you are wanting to accomplish in your life, it is time to put action to it today. The time to do it is now. And I am being told that over and over and over again. So I guess the time is now. Anyway, let me know what you think about those meditations in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.